Are you looking to achieve more, perform better, but really not work quite so hard? Like maybe you're part of the overachievers club or quickly heading toward burnout. And the hustle life is just not for you and you know it, but that's what you found yourself in. I get you. I get you. I see you. And our guest today on the Art of a Meaningful Life is Johanna Sanchez. And let me just tell you that this conversation was so fun, and I got more than I even expected. You're going to love this. Stay tuned. Listen, our purpose here is to learn to live more meaningful lives. And what better way is through listening to other people's stories? I'm personally on a mission to help foster an environment where creativity, compassion, and kindness are really viewed as a way of life. And I have a perfect guest for us today. I want to welcome Johanna Sanchez.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little brief introduction here because I really love this because it's really powerful. It's good. So listen, Joanna is your burnout-free business BFF. We all need that. I'm gonna say also personal, right? Because all that we're talking about today, whether you're in business or you're listening and you're not an entrepreneur, this is still super valuable. Yeah, especially moms, perhaps.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so your burnout-free business BFF from hustle culture dropout, yay for you, to productivity powerhouse. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I kind of touched on it. So many of us are looking at our lives and thinking something's really missing.
Mhm.
Something's
Yeah.
really missing. Have you had like an epiphany type like that, or did it come along? I mean, what's your experience?
No, no epiphany. Somebody had to tell me. Somebody had to tell me, like, you're too much here. No, mine was I had built my business to where I wanted it to be. I was making the money I wanted to make, and I was miserable.
Oh,
And I got on a coaching call, and the coach was like, "Well, when was the last time you did something for yourself?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean? I work 7 days a week.
yeah.
There's no such thing." And she was
Well,
like, "You need to do things different." So that was really the eye opener for me was when somebody else was like, "No, you're doing it wrong."
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, because you were following all the rules, right?
I
Doing
was.
everything
Yeah,
most business coaches tell us to do, and it's a lot.
it is. It's too much.
I'm not sure if someone had told me how much work it is. Uh, I knew about the excitement of doing something on your own.
Mhm.
I knew that had to feel like.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of work into it. And then it's like, okay, now you're riding this wave and you're about to crash.
right. Yeah. There's people tell you all the time, just do what you love and it'll never feel like work. Well, yeah, that's true, but you also have to do the work to be able to do what you love.
Yeah.
So, what
And
do
what,
we do then?
yeah, to do the work, right? And where's the as if there's such a thing as balance, because
Yeah,
it is like riding a wave. It changes all the time, right? So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So when did this happen for you in your business career? Because this being in business and being a coach,
Mhm.
for how long have you been doing that?
3 years.
3 years.
So
Okay.
I'm a coach for 3 years, but I was in business for 3 years before that as a copywriter
A copywriter. Okay.
for coaches.
And you said, hey,
Yeah. I was like, wait, I'm doing a lot of coaching here.
yeah. Yeah, because we all need it, right?
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
do. I don't know wherever you're at, it's
Right.
always good to have a mentor of some kind.
I was on a call this morning and the guy that was doing the call is into golf. And he said the best golfers in the world have golf coaches who are nowhere near as good as them at
Mhm.
golf, but they still have a coach,
Yeah. You
right?
still have,
Like everybody needs one.
yeah. Yeah. If not just to like to talk like you were going on and talking about what you were doing and did it and thinking you're just totally on the right track, but it's just not feeling right.
Right.
It's like we can't see our own eyebrows, right? If somebody has to be looking and going, yeah, no, what I
Right.
see, we wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just know it doesn't feel quite right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that coach helped me start putting more of me and my family first and things that I enjoy first.
Hmm.
And then I started going, okay, so how do we replicate this so that way it's not just my life, but it's also my business?
Hmm.
And then that's where the research came in, and that's where my pivot happened from copywriting. Because while I love writing, I didn't love the work that I was doing for other people. And that's why it felt like such like a push and pull constant.
Ah,
Right. So that's when I leaned into, oh, well, I have the social work degree and I really loved being a social worker. Let's see how we can apply that over here and still feel good about doing it. So
so,
that's where that kind
uh,
of,
right, because social work, you're getting to know people and connecting and trying to help them figure out what's wrong or what's right, or
right. A
yeah,
little bit of both.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Welcome to being a human.
We've all got a little bit of both.
So true. So now then, what are you experiencing as you're doing your business now?
In terms of alignment and balance,
Hmm.
everything that I do is focused on my values. So every goal that I set goes back to my values, which is to me deeper than your why, right? Like the why got me here, but my why changes like I change my shirt, right? Every other day there's a different why. So
Yes.
if I anchor my goals into who I am intrinsically, what I believe, what I think, what I feel,
Hmm.
then I have a greater pull towards those goals and achieving those goals. So that's every day I check in like my values and my goals. Am I still in alignment? What am I doing today? Is it in alignment with who I am
Right.
and what I want to achieve? And that's really been the balance for me,
Mhm.
right? Like yesterday, I woke up in the morning and I exercised, and then normally I would shower and then sit down for work. And I said, you know what? I want to take the kids to the pool today because my family is part of my values,
Mm.
right? And
Right.
so we went to the pool in the morning and then I worked in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
That's balance, right? I didn't have any calls scheduled during the day, so I could flip things around that I wanted to.
Mhm.
And I still moved towards the goals that I wanted to hit. But yesterday, my family was first instead of business growth. Business growth came third, but it was still there,
Right.
right? So that's really the thing that's important to me is making sure every day that I'm living in alignment with my values, not just growth goals, whatever.
Yeah, so let's talk about values because I love that. I'm right with you. And I think it's really saved me sometimes when I've looked at it. I thought, wait a minute. I said self-care was important, but yeah, I'm not doing such a good job at that, right? To get so in formulating your values, coming up with your values, that's not always an easy like explain your process with that. Help
I
us.
actually, I'll give you a resource online,
Okay.
but it's free.
Okay.
Um, that a mentor of mine gave to me. But essentially, it's what are the top three things that are closest to you at all times? So my family's closest to me. I'm, eating healthy, exercising, and my computer is never far from me. I went on vacation for 2 weeks and I didn't touch it, but it was there. Like I brought it just because like I have it with me. Right? So this is the
I'm
process that
laughing because I've done that.
I don't need it, but I'm just gonna bring it.
It's right in case I need you.
Right. Right. It's like a security blanket.
Yeah.
Essentially, he walks you through that. Like, what are the top three things that are always by you at all times? And like, if it's your phone, like, okay, well, what are you doing on your phone? Are you connecting with family? Are
Hmm.
you talking to friends? Or are you doing like work stuff on your phone? Like, what is it that is pulling you in? And he walks you through this whole process. It takes about a half an hour.
Hmm.
It's DeMartini Values Test.
Okay.
It's .com.org, whatever. But this is like his whole business, and it really does. I send all my clients to it. Like, if you're not sure what your values are, like, do this. And it's not a checkbox thing, right?
Uh-huh.
He walks you through how you can answer the questions in your own words, and then you create the system that shows you what your values are. I would have never guessed that my number one value was business growth. I would have put my family first. But
Mhm.
according to this test, the way I answered the questions and the way I filled things in, business growth was my number one value. So it's pretty eye-opening.
We will put that link in the YouTube description because I love that. And, I think this is a part what you just said about thinking your family was going to be first, but then business growth. It's something like I struggled with, and I was a nurse for decades, right? And I did have at some point some flexibility doing house calls and things, and I was also most of the time a single mom. And I'm thinking my son comes first. But feeding him is, I had to work in order to have a roof and to feed him too. And that's where sometimes the values get a little bit and where you're talking about alignment and there were times I had to say no to certain things or not now or reschedule and but it clouded some of what I was so confused about, well, what do I really value here? Because I'm not sure I'm living up to that. And it
Mhm.
depends, how I looked at it and how I did it. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in business, I don't know about men, so I'll just say I know about women. We struggle with this.
Yes,
We struggle with it.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to say now is, I'm sorry, that's not in alignment with my values at the moment. Or that's not in alignment with my goals at the moment. Like whenever somebody's like, come do this, come do that, or like buy my thing or do the thing and they don't stop. So it's just like, that's not in alignment with my goals at the moment, or that's not in alignment with my values. And they're like, oh, okay. You're
Yeah,
not saying, no, get away from me. It's a very nice way of saying it's not
yeah.
for me right now, you know?
Well, and I just have to say, I wonder how many people are a little puzzled by that alignment with my goals right now or with my values. Like, what does that mean? Because not not everyone thinks about that, right?
Yeah,
We're doers rather than
I know.
being. And
Yeah.
yeah, but who knows who you touched with that statement to like stop and go, huh? Well, am I in alignment? I don't know.
Right. Let's figure it out.
What does
That's
that
the fun
mean?
process.
It must be important.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for people that aren't business owners, and for those of us that are, right? There's a lot of times, whether you're a mom and you've been a mom forever, or you're a business owner, you've been a business owner forever, like
Mhm.
you have that label now,
Yeah.
right? I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a spouse. But break down all of those, get rid of them. Who are you without the title?
Hmm.
That's where your values come in. That's where who you are and what you enjoy and what you love, like without the titles that we're handed essentially. They're,
Right.
make words and nonsense. Who are you without it? And then build from there. Start asking your questions from there. That's like super helpful.
Yeah. And if you haven't done this before, I would say it could be so eye-opening. And, I know the first time I did this, and I was working with the coach and doing some photography with her and things. And she said, I'm going to give you a task. I want you to go and look in the mirror and look in your eyes and ask yourself, what do you really want? Because you will get to your values this way too.
Mm.
Because my values kind of went around, I mean, as a nurse, so we're helping other people, right? It was about others and not. And I started that and then she said, and always ask then why? And why?
Mhm.
And that was the clincher. And I don't, I was probably like 56 years old. And I don't think I had really ever asked myself that question.
Right.
And so as I got deeper and deeper, of course, I didn't want to look at myself in the face, right? I'm like, look in the mirror, and that's hard to do.
Mhm.
And I just started to cry and like, I don't think I've really asked, like, what do I at my core want? Or that wasn't in order to help someone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I don't think that's unique to me. I think that's kind of a woman thing. And I can't say for men, I don't know, but um, you
I
know,
think it's an everybody thing.
yeah,
Yeah. The fastest path to growth is being an entrepreneur and hiring a coach because you'll like real fast, like, oh, self-development? Sure. I don't know what that is, but let's work on it.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
And it's a
it
ride.
yes. It is. And you grow so fast. Like if I look at myself in 2018 before we'll call it before entrepreneurship, BE,
Yeah.
right? I went to school for social work. I
Yeah.
did all the work. I did the things. I looked, deeply at myself and all that kind of stuff. And then I became an entrepreneur and it was like, that was surface level.
Yeah. Isn't
This
that the
stuff is,
truth?
it'll pull out things that you have no idea, really.
I'm so glad you said you're spot on because I don't recognize myself from when I left my clinical practice. And I know, and I knew all the stuff too. I think knowing it and then having it in your face, it's like now
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
must walk the walk, not just
Yep.
talk the talk. It's like,
Yep.
oh,
The best example I can give outside of entrepreneurship is I had my children, right? I had some before I became a social worker, but I had two after. And I knew postpartum depression. I knew postpartum anxiety. I worked with people who had it. And then halfway through, my friend is like, you might have postpartum. And I was like, oh, right? You don't see it when you're in it, no
right.
matter where you are in life, no
Yeah.
matter how much research you've done or any of that other stuff. It's like people will call you out, even
Hmm.
if it's friends, if it's family. And if you are surrounded by people that don't call you out, then you need a new circle.
Yeah. Right.
We need
Right.
people that are going to tell us, like, hey, something's not right. Where's
Yeah.
my friend? Right? Where's my whoever?
Yeah.
And so you can look inward and say, oh, where did I go?
Hmm.
Where am I going? Kind of a
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Because that's love. That's love.
Yeah.
That's telling someone, this is what I see. Like, what do you
Yeah.
think? At least planting the seed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So the first step in say redesigning how your life or your business, well, can we even separate those, right? When you're an entrepreneur, your life is so redesigning is getting clear on your values and like
Yep.
really internalizing them. So when you're saying alignment, you're meaning like you are
This is
in
me.
line with all that, right? It's not
Yeah.
wishy-washy or well, sometimes it's like, oh no.
Yeah. This
That's
is
it.
you.
That's it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I even if you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's like value statements and value words and things. Statements are wonderful and I review those too, but I had like three words in my head, right? And I will repeat those. And funny thing is here I am doing the podcast about the art of a meaningful life, talking about creativity and compassion and kindness, and those words just keep popping up.
Yep. Yep. Because
Yeah.
they're a part of you.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the yeah, real stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got your values in line. So let's talk about in your life. So you got your values established.
Mhm.
And then it's just easy sailing, right?
Oh yeah. That's perfect. Wash your hands of everything else.
Really, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Done. So see you later. Sorry, this was a boring podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't sign off. It gets better. Yeah.
Oh man.
The
Yeah.
truth is
Then
important.
honestly, what comes next is just trusting yourself and learning to trust yourself
Mhm.
with what those values are. And telling your brain that it's okay to be a little bit different, right? Because a lot of times we're out of alignment because we've been conditioned to be a different way for
Mhm.
whatever reason. It doesn't have to be your parents, right? Like it could be anything. It
Yeah,
could have been a boyfriend, it could have been just who you are, it could have been anything,
yeah,
right? But now we have to recondition to be in alignment with who we are, which is there's a lot of friction that
yeah.
comes with that sometimes, right? So I
Right.
was always taught to be seen and not heard as a child.
Me too.
I was the shy kid. My ears would flare up red. I would sweat. I would never raise my hand. Public speaking in college, and I'm going up like this, right?
Me too.
And then I find out, like, you have a lot to say. You should probably talk more. And I'm like, it feels really good to talk, right? When I get around people, like, it feels really great, and I love it. And now I'm doing more of it because I practice it more.
Hmm.
I would just take pictures of myself. I'd start with my phone and then I'd start recording myself and then deleting it, not sharing it anywhere. But I got very comfortable with hearing my own voice and moving more towards that part of me, right? So the part of me is speaking and talking, whereas the part that didn't feel in alignment was staying quiet, right? It
Yeah,
was missing something. So it comes in all shapes and forms.
yeah. So what are you telling yourself? when because fear of public speaking is prominent, right? So what do you tell yourself? You've gone from, and I totally relate to this, by the way, from that really shy kid,
Yeah.
and even shy probably as an adult, as until you came to the place where I really want to, I have something to say. What are you telling yourself to get to that? I'm going to say so, I'm going to speak. And I mean even maybe speaking in a small group, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 people, you're just talking to other people. So I don't know, for me, even being sitting around a conference table and having an opinion would be like, I maybe kind of have something to say. Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. That, I mean, not that bad, but maybe,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so how do you go from that to saying, I have something to say? And
So it's a two-step process, right? Number one is just trusting yourself and knowing that you do have something to say. Whether they like it or not doesn't matter, right? You're not just going to make something up willy-nilly
he,
and just to throw something out there.
uh-huh.
So
It's not
trust yourself.
about their responses.
Right. No, no.
He, uh-huh.
Right. Trust yourself.
Right.
And the second one is this is a little bit more sciencey, and this is what I learned, I don't know, years after trusting myself. So we're going to shortcut it for everybody else. Your brain loves patterns.
Hmm.
So if we attach patterns to things, it becomes a lot easier to do the thing.
Uh-huh.
So before you walk into a conference room, before you walk into, I don't know, a group of friends, maybe you're the quiet one in the group of friends, before you walk up on a stage, have a set of 3 to 5 things that you do before that happens.
Hmm.
So go over a wins list, right? You've rehearsed your talk 1,700 times if it's a talk. Tell yourself how amazing you are and take deep breaths. I love breath work and breathing because it connects all of your body,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So if we do these 3 things before every situation where we're supposed to be talking, your brain's automatically connecting the dots saying, oh, we do these things and then we talk. And then you're still going to be nervous, most likely, right? But it's not going to be a debilitating nervous.
Yeah.
You're not going to be saying the things in the back of your head because you're reading. And if you don't have wins, just have friends say nice things about you and
Hmm.
read the nice things that your friends say about you, right? Like I
Right.
used to have a jar, it was probably this big. Used
Hmm.
to have a jar with all the stuff that clients and friends and family had said that was nice. And when I started feeling really crummy, I'd pull it out and I'd read it. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm a great person. I can put it back in there.
I
I
know.
forgot.
And that's not even you're not even minimizing that. That is sometimes that means like the world
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're in this self-talk, like what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What in the world? Oh my gosh, why did I volunteer for this? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh
we,
yeah, it's because I'm wonderful. Okay.
right.
I
Because I
have
put on this fantastic dress today.
ah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
All of
use
the,
humor, you can tell. That's
I do as well.
yeah, yeah.
Which is funny. My stepfather actually once told me I should drop out of college and become a comedian.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, that's not going to happen. But thank you.
It's funny. It's interesting. I think we all have multiple sides, right? And so what we're talking about too is tapping into various parts of ourselves. I think I heard it was Beyonce who has, what is it? Sasha? No, I forget what her alter ego
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know her name, but I know she has an alter
like
ego.
Sasha or something, but in when you listen to her in interviews and stuff, she's very soft-spoken and and then she gets on stage and it's like, watch out.
Yeah.
And so you can have different, and it's all her. You have just different sides of yourself. And I, you totally get that. And it's just being okay with, like
Yeah.
you trust in yourself.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's how they say Pedro Pascal, who's everywhere, right? Recently. He's high anxiety and he's this big actor who does all of these movies and he's around so many people all the time, but you'll see on I don't know, talks or wherever he is, he'll hold somebody's hand. Because when his anxiety gets up, he has to like ground himself a little bit. But he puts on, clearly, can't have that much anxiety when you're on stage, right? So he becomes somebody else and then also retreats into himself. So we can be lots of different people. Like there's
Mhm.
so many famous people that have speech impediments or they're dyslexic or they have severe anxiety, they don't like to, all these other things and they become who they need to become to do the thing that they love doing and then take care of themselves.
Right. Right. And it's all okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes you get to take your kids to the pool and be a mom at the pool, right?
Right.
And you record podcasts and then you're like, okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're working on our values. We're doing some
Mhm.
self-talk and this is I want to say that it's something you start to do, but then it's something that is continued throughout. And
Yes.
in full transparency, I go to some entrepreneur networking groups. And my very first time out, so when I transitioned from clinical work to my own business, I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do. And the more I learned, the more I got confused about what I really wanted to do. And I thought I need to go and meet people. And I'm sitting there when they said, now we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves. Or this one in particular one was really big, and it was this big, almost like a square. And they started here and they were going around. I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the restroom. And I just took my purse and left. It's like, I'm out of here. I cannot do it. I can't do it. I think I can. Yes, I know I can. I can. But each time it got better. And one day I was sitting and someone next to me said, "You're not going to go to the bathroom again, are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, they're on to me."
Oh
And
no.
and she said, "I want you to look around. I'll tell you, this is like a miracle day for me. I want you to look around because everyone else is feeling what you're feeling, but they really are believing in what they're talking about and they're doing it. And even if they're not so sure, they're doing it because we're all here in it together."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm not the only one." Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I'm sweating over here. Like I'm sweating bullets. I'm not sure I pronounced my name right, but I'm like, okay, okay. And then it got easier and easier.
Yeah.
But knowing that, and for her, God bless her, for looking at me and saying, I see you.
Right.
I see you. We're with you. And
Mm.
I looked around and people are shaking their heads. I'm like, y'all noticed? I'm like, how could we not? You did not come back.
Oh my goodness. Aw.
My little car is driving away. I'm like, I couldn't take it. It was too much. I've come a long way, but I
Yeah.
do still have to do a little self-talk before I walk into a room. That's
Yes.
just I've come to understand that's my nature.
Mhm.
I love it once I'm there, but before that, I just assume be at home and with my books and stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so if that's you out there listening, I'm just saying, we see you.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. So that road, that's an ongoing. hmm
Absolutely. A lot of things are, though. Like, if you think of people in addiction, right?
Yes.
Once they stop drinking, smoking, whatever it is that they're addicted to, they have to every day make a decision to not do the thing.
Right.
So we're doing the same thing.
hmm
We're making the decision to not go to the bathroom and leave. We're
Yes.
making the decision to stay and be in alignment with our values, right? Is business growth part of our values? Sure. So now we're going to stay and we're going to talk and we're going to do the thing,
hmm
right? We're every day not just breaking the addiction, but now creating a new pathway, a new way of being for us, right? So that's
Yeah.
everybody's got to do it.
Right. Right. Okay. So how about we've got that in place and you were talking about burnout and hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're looking at it, you say, okay, so we've got our values. What else can you recommend for those of us who are feeling overwhelmed by the stuff to do?
Yeah. Just stop. Just Stop. We're probably doing things that don't matter, right? So we're going to go with being a really great mom, right? Because you have more than business owners on the podcast that listen, right? So
Yes.
we're going to go with, I want to be a really great mom. I want to be the best. I don't want to be a Pinterest mom per se, but I want my kids to look at me and go, man, she taught me a lot. She was a great time. She didn't care. She was the one jumping in the pool. She was the one, taking us places, doing fun things, right? That's who I want to be, right? So if that's our value, if that's our goal, right? The value is the connection with your children, then we have to start being that person. So that's not just in the moment your kid makes you mad, because they do, right? And then having a conscious thought, right? Taking a pause and breathing for a minute and saying, I want to be this person. How do I be that person in this moment? And then becoming that person, right? Maybe we take a deep breath and we ask a question
Hmm.
instead of stating all the time, constantly telling our kids what to do and how to do it and when to do it, right?
Hmm.
Instead, say, why do you need to know this? Or why is this certain thing important to you? Or why can't we do something else at the moment? Whatever it is, but pausing instead of reacting.
Hmm.
My mentor and one of my best friends just said the other day, the trigger wants speed. So you're being triggered by something and it's instant reaction. And it's usually not the person you want to be, right? That
Hmm.
that triggered response is somebody else that you're trying to let go of. So if we pause, the trigger is gone because you paused, you took a breath, and now you can become whoever it is, whatever it is, closer to wherever you're going,
Right.
in that pause.
Yes. So it
Yeah.
can be as simple as taking a deep breath first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a pattern, right? So if there's a trigger, you just say trigger and then breathe
Hmm.
instead of reaction. So
Yes.
you have to start creating those patterns, seeing the things that happen. We did it with kids as a social worker, right? You had like the list of things if you had a kid that was really angry, and it'd
Hmm.
be like, okay, well, what was the thing that made you angry? And then what happened before that, right? Start to figure out what that trigger is. And we teach it to kids and we don't do it for ourselves,
Hmm.
right? So start figuring out what the trigger is beforehand. Even if like there's a task you want to exercise, and then every day you're like, ugh, I'm not exercising. It's exhausting and I want to do it. Well, you go to bed at night saying, I'm going to exercise tomorrow. What's the thing that happens in the morning that makes you not do it,
Hmm.
right? Let's eliminate that thing, or let's pause, or let's create a step in between to get us closer to that goal. Maybe we pick out our workout clothes the night before and just put them on as soon as we wake up. Now, what's the excuse,
Hmm.
right? Like, what's this thing in between? Maybe you don't want to do it for 30 minutes, so give yourself 10,
Hmm.
right? And little steps to get you closer.
Yeah.
But it's all those little pattern interrupts that we have to create as well.
Right. Because that kind of rolls into, let's go to your exercise uh, example. If you don't, you just let yourself down and then you
Yeah.
feel worse about the whole thing. And then
Yeah.
you're more apathetic about like, well, you did it again. You let yourself down, right? And all this negative talk and
Yeah.
it just,
Yeah. I practice what I preach, by the way. I have sneakers on top of my walking pad because that was a barrier for me. I'm like, oh, I don't have shoes in here,
yeah,
never
right.
mind. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna walk barefoot on a
Yeah.
walking pad. Why would I do that? So I
Right.
put shoes on there to stop myself from the excuse that I had,
Yeah.
you know?
Sometimes it's the easiest solutions, right, to start with, and you build on it. So
Mhm.
it's a matter of seeing, I want to spout off with something quick, right? Or say something, and instead you take a breath,
Right.
get centered a little bit, and then
Mhm.
respond instead of react.
Yeah.
And yeah, at first it might feel a little bit like acting, huh? Like it's like this is weird because that's different. You're
Right.
creating new patterns of behavior.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. And
I,
I always say this is where hustle culture kind of strips away the humanness, right? Because it teaches you to push, 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 be more, do more, get more. When honestly, we have to remove a lot of things. We have to be less. We have to do less. We have to have less.
yes,
And that's thoughts, emotions, whatever it is that's going on in the moment, because we're constantly bombarded with all these other things. But if we just sit in stillness,
yeah,
that's when we become who we really, really know we should be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if that was ever taught in any class or any schooling or any, I don't know if I ever heard that until I was an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just kind of that, and maybe that's where the overachiever part comes, right? It's like, well, if you can do that, you can do more. And if you can do more, then you could do even more and not thinking about the price.
Yeah. I had a supervisor at my 9 to 5. I was brand new and she saw me coming because I was like ready to go. And she said, Johanna, you can get it done 10 times faster than everybody else. But when you do that, you're going to be doing everybody else's work. And I was like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
Oh
And
my,
then a month in, I was like, I can't do this anymore,
because
right?
then you're
Because it's true.
resentful because you're
Yeah.
carrying the load, and other people are like, okay, you want to carry my load? That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going for
Yeah.
a coffee break.
Right. I'm more than willing to help, but you have to put in your fair share.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
That's so funny. I had a similar thing in an office I worked in. Yeah, this gal I was working with just like, and I said, how is it you leave on time and your stuff is still stacked on your desk and it's okay? She said, I do what I can and then it's time to go home and I get the important stuff done,
Mhm.
but it's not worth killing myself over and it's plenty enough.
Yeah.
And my thought, I was younger, but my thought then was, no, that's not cool. You got
How
to
this
get it all
works.
done. You got to get it all done. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. She had, so that answers the question that you asked that I think I might not have answered fully. How do you know with all the stuff that we have to do, how do you know what to get done?
Uh-huh.
Right? The important stuff.
The
The
important.
stuff that actually gets you closer to your goals. So if your goal is business growth, then what's the thing you have to do today to grow your business? You have to talk to 10 people? Do you have to, what do you have to do? Is it posting reels? Have you ever gotten a client from a reel? Because that might not be the important thing.
Hmm.
Right? The
Hmm.
important thing is an actual physical conversation with a human being. So how
Right.
do we get to that, right? That's the important thing, not posting 100 times a day if
Yes.
you've never gotten a client from posting
Yeah.
at all,
Yeah.
right? If you want to be a great mom, how do you get closer to being that goal? How do you get to that spot? Make sure you do that today. I took on it's called the Disney rule, I think, where a child so at Disney, when the child hugs a character, the
Uh-huh.
character doesn't let go until the kid lets go. So
Uh,
I adopted that rule in my house, not realizing that my children love physical touch. And we'll just be holding for like 2.5 minutes, and I'm like, "So you want to get on with your day?" But like that's a part of like they're always gonna know that, right?
uh-huh.
Even if it's not conscious, it's subconscious. Like mommy's there, mommy's never gonna let go. So figure out what it is for you that gets you closer to your goal, and that's what you do today. Not, yes, we have to eat dinner, but
Yeah.
does it matter if I make eggs for dinner or if they have like the 5 points of food they're supposed to have? No. It just
Mhm.
matters that we made dinner together and now we're eating together,
Yes.
right? What is the important part? And
Right.
then let the other things start to go
Hmm.
just a little bit.
Just a
Because
little bit.
we do a lot, especially as women, as people who are perfectionists, so to say, or we've had all these expectations put on us from everywhere and even ourselves,
Mhm.
right? We have to learn to just release a little bit. We're still amazing human beings without all the titles.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I started to do a based on my values, like my annual objectives, and they
Mhm.
have to match with my values, right? So business objective, and I really just try to keep it to three, but then I break it down. I do like that reverse engineering, right? And break it down. But every day I look like what are my quarterly objectives here? And
Mhm.
is what I'm doing on mark with them? Because sometimes it's not. It's like busy work and stuff that will get done, but I'm like, do I really need to? I mean, it's sometimes it's a real legit like look at it and say, not so
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it easier too. Like when people approach you for things, like you were saying, it's not in alignment. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not in
Yeah.
alignment with my goals. So yeah,
Because
and
we get so used to being people pleasers and
yeah,
saying yes just because we should.
hmm
And we're the ones that miss out.
right. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for sure true. Okay. Well, I want to say you have a really, and I'm going to get a look at this too, the time maximizer. So
Mhm.
this is, we're going to put the link in there so that you can get a copy of this. It's the No BS, I'm going to read it so make sure I get it right. A No BS guide for women who want to work less and earn more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that would not be.
I mean, some people love work.
Yeah, yeah, but you still want to earn more.
True.
Yeah,
Very true.
earn more, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to ask one final question. If there was anything you would do differently in looking at all the things we've talked about, is there anything you would have done differently?
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, if I knew then what I know now,
Yeah.
that kind of a question. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, I honestly, you know how we all love our adolescent years? You're just free and everything's amazing. And I
Oh,
would, yes, we're full of hope and joy and
yeah.
compassion.
Yeah.
I would be that person more often.
Hmm.
Even with all of the responsibilities and other things that we have going on, we have to take
Yeah.
care of other people, but I would be that person more often, that free, full of hope, like running through the streets and just doing whatever you were doing and
Yeah.
um, embody that feeling in that person more often.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. I think about that. So funny. Because I don't think a lot of us think back on our teenage years and go, "Ooh, I'd like to be that again," right? But I sometimes do. I think I was like, when I'm around certain friends, I'm like that teenager again. I'm kind of the one people will look at and go, we should probably separate these guys because they're just having too
Those friends.
they're just having too much fun. Yeah. And yeah, or I get really excited about things like a teenager would, just free to just like giggle and go, "Oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah.
exciting." And that's just really I think a part of who I am still. And I thought, what happened to her? What happened to her? Yeah.
She's there.
She's
She's there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring
She's
her out.
come out and play. I love your response to that. And I would love to hear in the comments as we close what you think about what you think about maybe embracing a little bit of that freedom yourself and what it is that you could let go of or embrace more fully, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thank you all for listening so much. This has been wonderful, Johanna.
I have a lot of fun. I love these conversations.
Me too. Me too. So we're gonna take it offline. We need to meet up in person because we really do not live that far from each other,
No.
so we can. And then they'll say, can you quiet those two down over there?
No, no, we won't be
Oh,
quiet. Thanks.
no, sorry. Talk to the hand, right? All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll close for now, and we'll see you next week.